Hey, vegan preppers here. Just a quick note before the video really begins to let you know that this is a really fast, like poorly lit, bad location video, but this is information on what we have in our house for cooking without electricity, and we want to get this into people's hands kind of as fast as possible, sort of like real life things, just things that we have on hand. So anyway, so that you can have stuff that you can think of to possibly, get yourself better prepared for, potentially losing electricity, like we've seen happen in Texas recently. So
it's all stuff that's relatively easy to find right now. So.
Yes, and not, I'm gonna say like it's super, super cheap, but nothing is like crazy expensive. So anyway, without further ado, here's Mr. Vegan Prepper.
Hey everybody, Mr. Vegan Prepper here. We've got Mrs. Vegan Prepper here behind the camera. And we just wanted to talk real quickly about alternate food cooking sources or heat sources for cooking food. And we've got several things that we have here at the house for cooking if our electricity were to go down. And our whole house is electric. So if our power went down, we would have no way to run our stove. So we do have a few options, and we're just going to talk briefly about what we have. And I'll get started with this big beast. This is an old school Coleman camp stove. It runs on Coleman fuel is the specific fuel, also known as white gas. You can run it on a lot of different things, which is kind of cool about it. You can run it on gasoline. You can run it on, sometimes you can run it on like lamp oil or kerosene. Some of them don't work very well on those type of fuels, but you can just put gasoline in it. I do want to say all of these methods, anything that's burning creates carbon monoxide. So it's best, certainly this stove should be used outside. If it's burning any form of gasoline, it should be run outside. So just be safe. Keep in mind that anything that's burning does create carbon monoxide. So even candles do in small amounts. So if you're cooking with something like this, certainly cook outside with it, and just be safe when you're cooking. So yeah, this a friend of mine gave me years ago. I've actually never even lit it, but just getting it out. I'm gonna get it all fired up, and not during this video, but we're gonna get it functioning just for so we know that it works and will function. We also have these more simple propane stoves, like little camp stoves. They run on these disposable propane bottles. They can be converted to run on a 20-pound propane tank. Yeah, you can just get these small propane bottles at any hardware store, Walmart, wherever. And they're pretty inexpensive. You can get like 2 bottles for like $7 or something like that. And they'll run for quite a long time on one of these small stoves. So we've got a couple of those. And so we can be boiling water with that stuff pretty easily and pretty affordably. And I don't know, you might forget just, that barbecue grill you got sitting outside. That's a great way to cook outside, and it generates a lot of heat, so you can actually boil water on it very quickly, and cook your food pretty quickly on it. So it does use fuel a little bit faster, so that is something to keep in mind, that get it on and cook that food and get it shut off to preserve your fuel. So that I'm going to hand off to Kathy talking about.
Okay, everyone, I am refilming my segment because it was so badly lit that you couldn't really see anything. I think you really do need to see with this one, but it's really great, everything that Adam was just talking about. But what if you don't have room for a setup like one of those? Or what if you run out of fuel. Like you have them, but you've run out of fuel now. What do you do? How do you also cook even if you don't want to be using canisters of fuel or whatever? And I think that a folding camping stove, and I happen to have a Firebox, is a great solution to that because it's so versatile. It will burn solid or liquid fuels, almost anything that you can think of, wood, coals, chafing dish fuel, like whatever. And I'm pretty sure you can even set it up in certain ways to burn with propane. If you have the burner, you can use the Firebox as the means of supporting your pot or whatever with that kind of fuel. The full kit comes with, the full kit comes with all of these accessories, which I am not fully versed on how to use because I have only used this so far with wood. But it's just great, and it will burn wood. Like you can burn and actually cook with nothing but sticks. And so that's what I think is great about this particular stove, not the least of which also the fact that it folds up and it's very lightweight and compact. So essentially it is held together in its folded state by the pins, which you can use for the cooking, but also for various other functions, which I'll show you briefly. This is not an in-depth review. This is just like an FYI. Folding camp stoves exist. Research, maybe get yourself one. Maybe this one, I don't know. But it opens up, this thing pops off. This also helps control your airflows. You can get yourself a really high hot flame by allowing more oxygen in, or kind of control the flame and make it a little slower burning and lower by giving it less oxygen, putting the drawer in. When you open it up, there is a thing inside that flips down. And now this is a fully functional stove. This kind of can serve the same sort of function of regulating airflow in the stove that the other one does, or the little drawer. And then here is a great thing, like with the sticks I was talking about. You can put your sticks right through here and create kind of a cross thing that, like crossed sticks burning to give yourself some fire to cook a pot or whatever. And if your pot fits on here, perfect, you're good to go. If not, you have these little pins. So if you have kind of a smaller pot, you can use these to go in and be your base for the pot to sit on in the middle here to get it, or get it closer to the flame or whatever. And then also the other great thing about this is that you can use these to pick the Firebox up and move it, because when it's extremely hot, like when it's been burning, it's extremely hot. And so you need to be able to manipulate it without your hands. And these will manipulate the stove completely, even to add in all these plates that you were just seeing. You can do that without touching it with these little tools. And so that's great. The whole thing is just fantastic. I love the concept of this, and just, again, the versatility. If all you have is a bunch of sticks, you'll still be able to cook something. And what I was also surprised by was just how much heat this thing generates. Like, we are outside. The way that I have been using this is just to sort of cook like little teas and stuff for us when we're outside and we have our fire pit. And this thing, I feel, puts off more heat than the full fire in the fire pit. It's just, I think it's the trapped radiant heat in the metal, and it just puts heat off. Like, I have to move my chair back. I can't get close enough to look. Like, it is so hot, you guys. So this is a great option, not just for cooking, but also for warmth. And then, yeah, again, it's just so compact. You can take it with you in a bug out bag situation, or like if you get evacuated, you can take this with you as a way of cooking something on the run. And yeah, I just can't say enough good things about this thing. So hopefully that is a helpful idea for you. And again, you don't necessarily have to get that one, but from the research I did, that one is fantastic, not only because of how lightweight it is, but because of how strong it is. Like, that stove will support a cast iron Dutch oven, as an FYI. So anyway, the last thing that I want to share is not specifically a cooking method, but it is maybe more of a way of saving fuel, and that is the Wonderbag. And I cannot believe that more prepping channels have not seen this and like gotten hold of this and begun to talk about this. This is made by women in South Africa, and it was originally created as a means of releasing them from the toil of burning a fire all day long. So if you have ever attempted to burn a fire, cook outside, and do stuff like that, you know that it takes a lot of work to tend that fire and to keep it going. So this was intended to help them with not having to do that quite so much. This is a portable crock pot. It is made of fabric and filled with insulated foam. And so basically the concept is that you get your pot, whatever it is you're cooking, whether it's, you know, rice or beans or whatever, get it going. And then as soon as it starts actually boiling, take it and put it in here. You put like a little trivet down to avoid burning it. Put your whole pot in here with the lid on, and then take this and put it on top of the pot. And then you just close it up over the top of the pot, and this will maintain the temperature for 8 hours. So yeah, it is basically a portable crock pot. And so you can, especially I think for if you are a vegan prepper, plant-based prepper, wanting to prep and put up a lot of things, or even if you're not vegan, but you understand, you know, beans have an insanely long shelf life, and rice does too, and stuff like that. Not brown rice, but white rice does. And even if you want to be cooking brown rice though, you need, you know, and more whole grains, you kind of need something that's going to allow you to cook those things, because they have an insanely long cook time. And that's the reason I love that Wonderbag, is because you can end up cooking those things without using fuel for the entire cooking process. And so anyway, for me, I think holy grail combination would be like a sun oven and the Wonderbag. So there's no fuel usage, no nothing. And then like you can cook without any fuel. So we don't have a sun oven yet because those are expensive, but there are DIYs out there, and we're looking into those. But anyway, hopefully that was helpful at all. The Wonderbag, I think it ranges in price. You just have to look it up. And it's fantastic. It's anywhere from $60 to like $80, depending on what size you get. I did get the biggest one because I have a big family. So anyway, but I think just as a long-term tool, especially if you're without power or fuel, you got to get yourself one of those things. So anyway, I guess that's all. And as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. And thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.